Hey there friends, thanks for checking in. If we look at Glock and some of the changes they've made throughout the years, you can see that each generation accompanied various changes that the civilian market wanted, even law enforcement. You know, there once was a time when Glock was said, hey, here's our gun, take it or leave it, and that's that. You know, they primarily cater to the law enforcement market, which is good, but their guns really exploded. People love the polymer frames, they love the reliability, and as time went on, you see all these aftermarket companies coming up with various ways to customize their Glocks, and people have fallen in love with the company and the handgun itself. So we look at some of the generations, we see that from Gen 2 to Gen 3 they added finger grooves, a little more ergos, if you will, and then they added more from the Gen 4 versions. They put back straps on there, they added 3 magazines, an extended magazine release, a dual recoil spring, and people fell in love with them, and there were some issues with the Gen 4, but over time Glock took care of that. Now we move to the Gen 5, and what exactly is going on there? You know, there's rumors that Glock has come out with a Gen 5, a Glock 17 and a Glock 19, and there are certain things that people really want the company to do. Now yesterday I featured a video, I said this is the perfect Glock for me, and it's right here. And the reason why it's perfect for me is that the finger grooves have been removed, the trigger guard was undercut, and it has night sights. Those simple modifications make this the perfect Glock for me. I can't stand the finger grooves, I don't like the factory sights, and I do think that it's not a big deal to undercut the trigger guard to give a higher grip on the gun. And now we look at the Gen 5 models, we see that those changes have been made. Now, part of it is because the FBI awarded Glock their contract, putting out thousands and thousands of dollars of an investment into Glock, and Glock met the demand. But also there are consumers out there who feel very strong about some of these features that they want improved, and Glock has met that demand. We look at, you know, some of the things throughout the years. You know, Glock came up with single stack 380 ACP and 9mm. Those were in heavy demand by the consumer market, and Glock delivered. They did a great job with it. We look at, you know, 10mm. Glock came out with a 10mm. They came out with the MOS, Modular Optic System, and people really enjoy it. There are many people putting optics on their handguns these days. But now we are at a point where, you know, what's next? What is Glock going to do next? Now pictures have been leaked over the Glock 17 and the Glock 19M, and I'm told that the M stands for model, but it is a Gen 5, and there are some things that people wanted. They wanted the finger grooves removed, they want it to be ambidextrous, not just people but law enforcement as well, and they have front serrations, which is not a big deal. I mean, it's just a simple thing that Glock could do, and they delivered. They also wanted the trigger guard undercut, and they wanted night sights, and that is what the Glock Gen 5, from all the research that I have done, shows that is what they are delivering on. Now, we don't have an MSRP on the Glock 5 at this point in time. I have to believe it's going to be more expensive, especially if it comes standard with night sights. I don't think the undercut of the trigger guard or the front serrations is going to be a big deal, but the night sights will. So we're looking at potentially a $600 plus gun in the civilian market. I think it's going to do very well. I think that these are changes that people have wanted, much like people wanted a single stack 9mm and Glock delivered. I think that this Gen 5 is going to be a big deal, and I think that Glock has done a very nice job from what I can see. Now, so far, the Gen 5 has been recalled already, and it has not hit the civilian market. It was only issued to some law enforcement for some test and evaluation, and it seems as if upon dry firing the slide releases off the frame. Okay, so it's been recalled. It didn't even hit the civilian market, and people are writing articles about it, as they should, but I have every bit of confidence that Glock will take care of that problem, and before it hits the civilian market or even issued off to law enforcement, that the situation is going to be taken care of. You know, the Gen 4 was recalled. It had ejection issues, and we see other companies recall guns all the time. So that's really nothing new. Like with any gun, you know, it has a growing phase to really figure out what's going on, but nonetheless, I do think it'll be hitting the market. I do think it'll be a big deal, and I do think that the changes made are what the people wanted, and it seems to me that it's going to be a great gun. It's going to be more expensive, but it's going to be a great gun, and I think it'll do very well. If you like videos like this, please subscribe and share. I always appreciate the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching, and you guys be safe.